Now let's begin. Grab a glass of water. So today we are in Salvador. Our journey begins in Salvador and we are headed to New Orleans in the United States of America. Our flight is TACA 110 Boeing 737-300, and this is a new plane in TACA flights. We are having 45 passengers in the cabin and we are having 3 more in the cockpit. These 3 are the people that are going to fly us from Salvador to New Orleans. Now we are having co-pilot Carlos, we are having first officer Lopez, and then we are having flight attendant Artur. So Artur must be in the plane to observe how this new aeroplane will behave on their journey from Salvador to New Orleans. And then Lopez will be the assistant of the co-pilot that we are having today, who is Carlos. Lopez is well experienced because he has flew commercial airplanes for about 12,000 hours flight. And Artur, if we look at his history, remember, not Artur, we say Carlos. Remember, Carlos is flying the plane just in one eye because in his history he got shot on one side of the eye when he was flying one of the planes, but that didn't stop him and he rescued his passengers back to the main airport in Salvador just within 20 minutes. So we are having all experienced people in the cockpit. So the year is 1988, the month of May 24th. It's midday, cloudy, things are cool, passengers are on board, and the plane is ready to take off. It's given go ahead from the main office, those that are controlling the plane from the ground. It's okay, you can proceed with the journey. Flight 110 Boeing 737 takes off. Slowly, everything is fine, and they take off to the cloud. The flight attendants, the plane attendants, are serving the passengers whatever they can serve as they continue with their journey. The snacks, the biscuits, they serve everybody, even that special woman that we have around today, who is Lee. Lee is operated there in Salvador, and she's really eager to meet her family after the successful operation in her, so that she can be together with her family again. The plane crosses the clouds, everything is stable. Carlos is taking the plane really well. Artur is really happy because he can see Boeing 737-300 is okay. That shows that the plane is okay and everything is doing really fine. Lopez over there is assisting Carlos in everything that he could. They're checking their radars and they're seeing everything is okay. Down where the plane took off in Salvador, the attendants inside the room, the people that control the planes from the downer ground, they see the plane is within their radar and they know everything is okay for sure. Boeing 737 is going on smoothly. Boeing 737-300 is about to land in New Orleans, some kilometers away, let's say about 40 kilometers. Something struck. What happens? They are caught by thunderstorms and the clouds, the weather changes. And Boeing 737 loses one of its engine and it goes on fire. What do the pilots do? They shut off the engine. Immediately, another engine goes on fire. Now, Boeing 737 remains without any engine. The thunderstorm has shaken the plane, and the passengers have noticed they are in danger. The plane is moving without any engine. Carlos tries to restart the engines, but there is no power totally in the engines. They call it thrust. There is no thrust so that it can power on the engines again. Now, it makes them to put a call to the downer people that are controlling the plane. But you know, the engines are off. There is no power supply within the aeroplane. So there is no way they can put a call through to the control room in the downer part, those that are controlling the plane from the down below. They think always planes are made, there is always a backup power that is always in the plane. They say, let's start this backup power. But they are really tensed because the plane is losing altitude. Remember, they were at 30,000 feet altitude. That is where they were flying. Now, when the engines goes off, the plane is losing 1,500 altitude per minute coming downwards. And this backup fire, this backup power will take a little bit of time. Let's say about 30 seconds, so that everything can regain power, can come back, and they can try to restart the engines. And then they make a call in the downer base. They inform them, we have lost 2 of our engines and we are not able to fly so far with these engines. Let us know any place closer where we can land. So the attendants on the downer part tells them that you are 27 now kilometers away from the main airport in New Orleans. Then they say we can't really fly to that point. Now, in this process of the call, remember we were having a flight attendant, that is a tour. A tour tries with this power, they restart the first engine. It goes on. And then again they try and see if they can get the second engine again on. They try and it becomes successful and it goes on. There in the cabin, the passengers have seen that the lights are back on and they're okay, but not that so much okay. After the panic that has happened, you can't really be okay. So Lee is over there just praying, asking God, please, let's arrive safe home. But just immediately that the 2 engines came up, they begin showing in the cockpit that they are really burning out. There is a lot of it in the engines. And therefore Carlos decides to release some water to go cool off some engines. But in this process of doing this, there is too much water that has gone to the engines. And again, the engines goes off. Now, in their radar, in the downer base, they can't see Boeing 737. It has lost and they can't observe it in their radar. Now it's only Carlos, it's Artur, and it's Lopez to see on how they can land this plane safely, or even if they can crash the plane. Down in the base, the flight attendant tries to contact other planes that are closer within that radar for them to observe if they can see Flight 110 Boeing 737-300 anywhere. But they also respond they do not see Boeing 737. They can't see anything because there is a lot of clouds, there is a lot of thunder, and there is nothing that is taking place. They are losing the altitude really fast, 1500 per minute. What do they decide? Remember, they are about to land in New Orleans and it is 27 kilometers away. And right now from the 27 kilometers, they are left with 20 kilometers. They can't really go that far because they are really losing their altitudes real quick. New Orleans is a place full of valleys, water everywhere. And they say the only thing that we have and the option that we have left is to land this plane on the ocean. And in the ocean, they're not sure if they will make it. Everybody is just praying. In the cabin, everyone is alerted that they should put on their belts on. And then everyone should take their head below their knee. That's what they're instructed by the co-pilot, Carlos. So they go ahead and do that. But remember, we are having one of the passengers that has gone a surgical operation in her. And this is Lee. Lee can't really do whatever these people are asked to do. So the woman sitting beside her was an old woman, asking her, please do whatever we are supposed to do. But she tells the woman, I have some cracks, the surgical pains in my stomach. I can't really do that. So she only ties the bells in the chair. Meanwhile, in the cockpit, they're trying their best on ways on how they can land. But Lopez observes something and tells there is a valley over that part. Maybe we can land over there. But it is not really possible because the plane is facing the ocean. There is only one thing that they can do, and it is not done on the commercial planes. It's called the slide show. When the planes are always doing it, when you see, when we are always having the armies during the holidays, when the armies are showing their tactics, you will always see them doing the slide show. So the wing of the aeroplane, one side comes down and then the other side comes up. So that is the only way that Carlos can do the slide show, and then the plane will automatically leave facing the ocean and come back to the valley side. Now they continue. The altitudes are becoming lower, lower, and lower. But Carlos tries to do the slide, and he does the slide, and the plane comes back to the valley side. Now he has to hold it tight so that the plane does not crash, because there is a wall in front of them. Remember, Carlos is only one-sided and they can't really see clearly what's now in the upper front, but there is a wall. Now you need to hold so tight so that it doesn't make the plane crash at the last minute. Now we hold, the plane comes slowly, and hits the ground. Everybody moves in front in the cabin, and the bells that they tied has really saved them, because it has not made them to go front way. Without the bells, people would have gone front way. In the cabin, passengers are really praying. People are waiting for death because they don't know what is happening. Remember, a valley, there are a lot of grasses, and then the wheels of the plane, of course they will be sliding. It's not like the runway. So they will be sliding because it's really moving so fast. So the passengers are really all just waiting for the plane to crash. The miraculous land, the Boeing 737-300, ends up stopping at that valley. Artur tells Carlos, you got this, my guy. Thank you so much. You have landed this plane. You have saved the 48 of us. Passengers are gotten out of the plane so that in case of any other thing, after the incident, you think the plane will blow off. So passengers are taken out, and then remember, our passenger Lee really appreciates. He says she got panicked. But she was happy that was a safe landing. She got into the ambulance and she's rushed to the hospitals in New Orleans, because they were just now closer to New Orleans, just closer to landing. That is when the thunderstorm found them and got them. And now, as always, the engineers have to take the plane. They have to do 1, 2, 3 and know what really occurred, so that it doesn't occur in other planes again. That is how Carlos, Lopez, and Artur made a safe landing and saved the passengers without any harm. And it made a history that a new Boeing 737 failed, attacked by thunderstorm, and that happened. If you watched to this point, your storyteller is Cheris, a father of one. Please hit that subscribe button until we meet again in the next story. Thank you so much for watching, and bye bye.